we're back with another video. In this video, I'm going to be ranking from worst to best the men's divisions in the UFC, 125 all the way to heavyweight. That being said, let's just get into it. This is one day post UFC 330 Makhachev versus Ian Gary, and the criteria for this basically is what are the skill level of these ranked fighters, what are the skill level of the entire division, ranked or unranked, how entertaining are these divisions fights. So looking at who's not ranked in this division, whether it's a hot prospect or whether it's a really good fighter that just doesn't have a name next to his number, we're taking that into account too. So with all that being said, all of those criterias, let's get into it. But before I start, okay, UFC, Dana White, Hunter Campbell, I don't know who makes decisions in this level of the company, but can we please fire Din Thomas? Fire Din Thomas. Okay, first of all, this guy is like normally just someone that they outsource for knowledge to during the fight. So you have a legend in DC, you have an intelligent guy in Joe Rogan, and even if it's not those guys and it's the other commentary teams, you still have legends and very intelligent people that know about MMA, and they'll just outsource for Din Thomas for no reason. And I've never listened to Din Thomas talk about anything when he's outsourced to and thought, wow, that was amazing insight. Honestly, I have no reaction because it just didn't matter, or it's just some fucking bullshit. Like, honestly, the guy brings nothing to the game. He brings nothing to the sport, okay? And what I'm really heated about, okay, is in the post show and was cornering her, and he gets on the post show and makes it all about him and says, I'm retiring from coaching today. That's the last time I'll ever coach. And they're like, oh, okay, why? First of all, not that it even matters. It really doesn't matter. Honestly, Din Thomas retiring means absolutely nothing. It would be like Cooper Rush retiring from the NFL. It doesn't really mean anything. No disrespect to Cooper Rush or anything, but it just doesn't mean a damn thing in the big scheme of things. Din Thomas retiring from coaching doesn't mean anything. It means zero. Anyways, he gets on here and says, well, you know, I said I would take Jillian as far as she could. This is as far as she can go. She can't go any farther than this. Dragging his fighter that he was cornering and said, I've done everything I could. This is as far as she can go. Yeah, I'm done. Bro, you're dragging your fighter. First of all, if you think this is as far Jillian Robertson can go that she can never be champ, you're a terrible coach. You're a terrible coach. So get the hell out of here. I don't want to hear this guy be outsourced for some type of knowledge on what's going on in the fight. I don't want to see this guy in a corner. I don't want to see this guy ever. I don't want to hear his voice. Dana, Hunter, please retire this guy. Get him out of here. That being said, let's just get into this list. And before I start, I apologize. This was for some reason incredibly difficult to put together. So let me zoom out. I have all these boxes, 8 of them for the divisions, and I know it's so unaesthetically pleasing as far as how I'm doing this, but I promise it will all look good at the end. But it was actually really hard for some reason to make these boxes and get them in some type of order. I'm probably just stupid and have issues, but it's okay. The first 2 are very easy. I'm just going to go through them right now. We have heavyweight and light heavyweight. So at number 8, I'm going with heavyweight. Now, if we look at the rankings for heavyweight, if I can find them, extremely top heavy. When I say top heavy, I mean the fighters that are ranked high in the division. It's very top heavy. Now, you have Tom Aspinall, who honestly, pound for pound, probably is one of the best in the UFC with power striking, wrestling, and jiu-jitsu. You have Cyril Gane, who's an amazing striker, and if you can't take him down, you're cooked. Volkov, very good. I rate Volkov quite highly. He can mix in both wrestling and striking, very good. Intelligent striker. Pavlovich, very good. Alex Pereira's there, and you have Josh Hokett and Waldo and Walter Walker. Those are the only guys that I rate. In conclusion, Waldo, Hokett, Pereira's there, Pavlovich, Volkov, Gane, and Aspinall. Now, these fights, it's totally depends on who's fighting. If it's any of the guys that I just named, it's going to be an entertaining fight, and they will show their skill. Because the rest of these guys, whether they're ranked or unranked, are kind of just blobs. Like, they are not very good. And I don't rate Rakic. I don't rate Johnny Walker either in this division. Will they have success? Yes, because they have a bit more skill than the rest of these guys. I mean, you have Mario Pinto, too, in there, who's a pretty good prospect. But I don't get anything from this division. If you're talking about, what's one division you would never want to watch again of your choosing, I would go with heavyweight for sure. But overall, these fights, depending on, they're not entertaining. If it's not one of the guys I named, they're not very entertaining fights. I don't think there's any like prospect at heavyweight other than Gable Steveson, and I don't even like him for obvious reasons, who's like, oh wow, I can't wait to see this guy in the UFC. And yeah, it just doesn't really get me exciting. Light heavyweight at number 7. You know, I actually like a lot of the fighters at light heavyweight. I like Olberg. I think watching him is a good kickboxing spectacle. Alex Pereira is still there, but I don't know if he'll come back. Ankalaev, underrated. Always been underrated. I know he just had a snooze fest. I'm aware of the snooze fest before anybody says it. I am aware of the snooze fest. But Ankalaev takes people's heads off. And honestly, if it wasn't for Ali getting on this guy's Twitter, that rat getting on his Twitter and like trash talking people, he'd be more liked. But for some reason, we like to ignore all the good things Ankalaev does just because, I don't know, he held Pereira against the cage for a couple rounds in their first fight. That being said, everybody loves Yuri. Paulo Costa looks like a proper light heavyweight. I was very impressed when he beat Mirzakhanov, and yeah, he can potentially do something at this weight. He looks built for it. He looks dense enough for it, so he can do something good. Jamal Hill is still number 5 ranked. I don't know how that is a thing, but whatever. Khalil Roundtree, people like Khalil. You know, he's only lost to the absolute best. I think outside of like Yuri, Ankalaev, Pereira, Olberg, I think he could beat Costa. Not sure though, but he doesn't beat Navajo Sterling, who's this next guy. Navajo Sterling, this guy is dangerous. I mess with this guy heavy. Navajo Sterling is dangerous. I like this guy. His striking is very good. His power is immense. And yeah, if he can, he has good takedown defense and is, you know, able to get back to his feet, which is really good. Also very good in the clinch. I've noticed that. Whenever he's in a clinch, he's pretty dangerous. Rate him highly. Now from here on, it's like, Dominic Reyes. Mirzakhanov, I rated a lot. I thought he was going to beat Paulo. He didn't. Guskov's a good fighter. And here's the thing. You have Robert Whittaker, too, in there. If Robert Whittaker looked like he had... Bobby Knuckles looked like he had a lot more power, which is very good and very dangerous. So it's interesting to see how he would do against the top ranks. But outside of light heavyweight, from what I know, I could be wrong. I don't think there's any prospect out there at light heavyweight that's like, holy, like this guy's really good. This guy can like jump off the screen, like he should be ready for the top 15. Also, outside of the guys that I talked about, I don't know much about them, to be totally honest. So it's very interesting. I would like to see more different fighters at light heavyweight because before you know, Paulo Costa and Whittaker moved up, and before things started changing, Navajo Sterling's now high up in the division. It was literally just, okay, who's Pereira going to fight? Is he going to fight Ankalaev for the 3rd time? Will he fight Olberg? You know, what happens if Khalil wins? Should we do Yuri again? Like, it was just the same, like, 4 guys that everybody was talking about. So it's good to see, you know, that this division is being more lively. Anyway, so we have heavyweight at 8, light heavyweight at 7. Now, from this point on, all of these divisions are insane. All of these divisions are super, super good. And they have a lot of prospects, a lot of good unranked fighters. And, you know, their fights are all pretty much really, really good. From this point on, if your favorite division is lower on the list, just know it's very hard. I'm going with middleweight. Now, if we look at the middleweight rankings, okay, Sean Strickland and Dricus du Plessis. Sean Strickland's the champ. DDP is number 2, right? Now, what's very interesting, why it's hard to put middleweight so low, is that these two, honestly, on the GOAT middleweight list, you can honestly put them anywhere you want, from like one to like however far you want to go back. You really could. You could definitely make that argument. Sean Strickland is insane. And if you look at who he's already beaten Imavov. He beat Chimaev, okay? He beat Imavov, he beat Chimaev, he already beat Brendan Allen. And honestly, there's nobody that he loses to other than DDP and maybe Hamzat in the rematch, in my opinion. Now, Dricus du Plessis, too. This is a guy that had 2 middleweight defenses. He beat Sean Strickland twice. That's on his resume. And this is something I've always talked about. I actually made a TikTok asking, who do you have higher on the middleweight ranking list all time? Do you have DDP or Sean Strickland? I don't know, because you can make the argument for either. But this division also, Dricus du Plessis has 2 title defenses. He beat Sean Strickland twice, and he has some solid wins against Robert Whittaker. And who else does he have? He hasn't beat Brendan Allen or Pfeiffer. But he has some good wins. Trust. As far as who else is in this division, though, it's super nice. It's super nice. Nasruddin Imavov, I rate Nasruddin a lot. I wish Nasruddin and Chimaev fought, but evidently the UFC made the right call by giving it to Strickland. I'll pass. Obviously, you have Khamzat there. I'm even forgetting about talking about Khamzat. Khamzat's right there, and Khamzat's someone that we all thought could just rack up title defenses and just do super good, but Strickland came in and beat him. Pfeiffer, I rate heavy. That guy has some absolute power in his hands and also a very good grappler. Brendan Allen, I'm going to be so honest. I've watched some Brendan Allen fights, and I've never once been like, oof, Brendan Allen. I don't even know, does Brendan Allen have any fans? This is going to sound so disrespectful. I can't even say no disrespect. This is going to be a little disrespectful, and I apologize. Does Brendan Allen have any fans? I've never seen someone like defend Brendan Allen and be like, wow, this guy's like really good, or yeah, Brendan Allen should be next for the title shot. I've just never, and I'm not even trying to be like he has no fans. I'm just genuinely curious because I've never seen a Brendan Allen fan. That being said, Kyle Borralho too. This guy has to get back in the octagon, man. This guy is super good. I mean, how would Kyle do against Nasruddin again if he has like a full camp and he didn't just cut to 185 right before it? Also didn't get eye poked against Pfeiffer. I think he beats Brendan Allen too. Fluffy was looking like one of the best contenders. He was close to a title shot if he was to beat Sean, but didn't get it. Now, Michael Venom Page, not talking about that. I don't rate that guy much at all, really. My GOAT, Israel Adesanya. Yeah, the legend's still here, but I don't know, what can you do? And then from this point on, Gregory Rodriguez, good fighter. Leroy Duncan's a really good prospect. Ikram is sneaky. He's the dark horse in this division. He can go far. Bo Nickel. What more can I really say about Bo Nickel? And yeah, now there's like two prospects at 185. It's a little lacking as far as the prospects right now, but you have Atiba Gauthier and Dante Jackson, who are super good prospects. And then you even have Roman Kopylov, who's not ranked, but he's kind of slowed down a bit. But it was very hard to rank 185 so low. I like the division. Overall, the fights are not bad. They're pretty good fights too. But from this point on, it gets even harder. And honestly, it's way better than the other two, but just not as good as the others. So middleweight at 6. At 5th, I'm going with flyweight. Now, this sucks because I love flyweight. Flyweight might be my favorite division. I'm not sure. I would have to really think about that. But if you look at the rankings here, it's a little top-heavy. It's slightly top-heavy, but what sucks so much about putting flyweight so low is that if you were to ask me, you can only watch one division for the rest of your life. Who are you picking? Flyweight honestly might be my answer because you can watch 2 flyweights. Everybody's aware of this. You can watch 2 flyweights unranked on like their UFC debuts go head-to-head in the Apex on the 3rd fight of the night, where the main event is like number 14 middleweight versus like number 12 middleweight. And the card is just a snooze fest throughout the rest of it in the Apex. But those 2 125ers will, fight tooth and nail to try and off each other. It's amazing. It's amazing. They honestly probably have the best fights. And honestly, for skill-wise, across the whole division, they are the most skilled probably. But when looking at the rankings too, Joshua Van, straight hands, just on sight. That's just a dude you don't want to fight. Joshua Van reminds me so much of like a dude in like a street fight who, you've all seen it where like you should not have fucked with that dude. Just straight hands on sight. Just amazing. Pantoja. Pantoja could be the flyweight GOAT in some people's eyes, not mine. Probably number 2 all time. And actually, I don't know if you can see, but I actually met Pantoja. That's who's on that poster, by the way. Pantoja is, I've met a few UFC fighters, my favorite for sure. We had like a 3-minute conversation. He was super funny, super cool, just a great guy. And he's probably like number 2 on the GOAT list for flyweight. But skill-wise, he's probably the best in the division. You then have Manel Kape. The guy's kind of a bit of a cheater, low-key. Also might be on some steroids. I'm not making that claim, though. But Manel Kape, super skilled. Great fighter to watch. A very entertaining fighter. His hands are so fast, and I was very impressed how he was able to beat Kyoji Horiguchi. Brandon Royval's still there. I mean, he's been at the top, it seems like forever, but he's still there. And the way that he was able to beat Loner Kavanaugh, one of these new guys, and he beat Tatsuro Taira too. And that goes into my next few fighters here. Taira, dog. Amabayev, dog. Loner Kavanaugh, I thought he was going to win. I really did. But if you saw what he did to Moreno, oh my goodness. Temerov. And Kavanaugh and Temerov are fighting. This is going to be a great fight. Kyoji Horiguchi, this guy only lost to Manel Kape. He can easily get back to it. And honestly, he just got caught once. He was controlling that fight. And then from here on, it's like a little irrelevant, I would say. Like a couple unks, I don't really know. And the thing is, too, is I'm sure there's a lot of prospects at 125. I'm not mostly aware of them. But you also have the likes of Charles Johnson on the outside of the division, who, if you just saw what he did, just pulled off the first Scotch Twister of all time. Insane. And he has wins over Loner Kavanaugh, I think he does, and Joshua Van. Probably one of, if not the most entertaining divisions. But like I said, everything after light heavyweight, it's really hard because they're all so really, really good. Jumping in, number 4, I'm going with bantamweight. Oh, wait, I forgot to say, from this point on, after flyweight, these 4, you can honestly switch them around in any order you want, I think. These 4 are the cream of the crop, the creme de la creme. And like I said, it got even harder to rank these 4. But if you look at the rankings here, if you look at bantamweight, it's very similar to flyweight, where it's like they're obviously smaller and lighter, so they all have that same skill and put on bangers as well. But if you look at the rankings as well, you have Peter Yan, who's a champ. I mean, Peter Yan, we all love Peter Yan, right? Just like, if to personify MMA, Peter Yan is probably the answer to that question. We have Merab. Now, Merab is interesting because I see Merab as a legend, potentially the best bantamweight of all time. The way that he had 3 title defenses and who he already beat before getting the belt because he didn't fight Aljamain Sterling, you could have considered him the GOAT in mine. And honestly, I wouldn't disagree. I might even say that he was the bantamweight GOAT. If he was able to beat Peter Yan and win 4 fights in 1 year, it would have been unanimous in my opinion. Umar, most underrated fighter on the whole roster, Umar Nurmagomedov. Honestly, probably beat Merab. Low-key got robbed, in my opinion. Just turn off the commentary and watch the fight again. But then again, like, if you look at these fights, though, Umar versus Peter Yan would be crazy. Merab versus Umar, too, would be crazy. Sean O'Malley. Guys, Sean is high-key back. He's showing that he's still one of the best in the entire division. He had that 2-fight skid against Merab. But then after that 2-fight skid, he beat Song Yadong, clearly, and then he knocked out Ayman Zahabi. I'm more interested in seeing Sean O'Malley versus Peter Yan 2, that rematch in a 5-round fight, than I am if Merab was to win and they do Sean 3. I'm not even mad if they do Peter Yan, Sean 2. It's probably what they will do, but I do not in any way, shape, or form want to see Sean versus Merab 3. Going down the list, Mario Batista. I mean, what a 180 this guy's done on his career. He was the most hated in the UFC. And now he showed after his win against Corey Sandhagen. This guy's a dog. Corey Sandhagen's still at the top. Song Yadong is a very good fighter too. David Martinez good. Barcelo's good. Marcus McGee. Marcus McGee, this is a real fighter, guys. Marcus McGee is very, very good. And he can go very far up this list. I would love to see McGee versus like a Sandhagen. That fight's interesting. That fight's super interesting. If Mario Batista wants to fight again, I would love to see McGee versus Batista. I rate McGee pretty highly. Figueiredo's still there. Zahabi, good fighters. Jourdain, good fighters. Bryce Mitchell, who's only lost to like the absolute best, is number 14. Now, one of the reasons why I rank 135 over 125, obviously it's more spread out throughout the division how good these fighters are. But also, not only that, if you look, and I have them written down here, if you look at the the fighters that are not ranked in this division, okay, you have Ethan Ewing, Alexander Topuria, and Peyton Talbot. I don't even need to name anymore. These 3 guys are top 15 guys. I can't wait to see Alexander Topuria back in the octagon, Ethan Ewing, and Peyton Talbot. These guys are top 15 fighters. I think they can beat, at their best, a lot of these guys in the top 15. And those guys are going to be at the top, and they're going to keep on going. So it's super interesting to see how they're able to get into the top 15 and go up. So love 135, super, super great division. Now, number 3, we're going with featherweight. I was making this list, okay? And I'm like, 145 is underrated. Featherweight, in all honesty, one of the best. I think this is an easy top 3, and it was hard to like really think about it with the other 2, I would even say. So, Volk as champ. This guy's a legend. This guy, in my opinion, number 1 or number 2 featherweight of all time. I might put him at 1, not going to lie. Movsar Evloev. If I said Umar Nurmagomedov was the most underrated, underappreciated, Movsar's right there next to him. Diego Lopez. Who doesn't love Diego Lopez? Lerone. If I said Umar and if I said Movsar was underrated, underappreciated, Lerone is right there too. Aljamain Sterling. You're talking about one of the best bantamweights ever, is close to a title shot in featherweight. Arnold Allen. We love Arnold Allen. John Silva. I really don't like this guy, but he's damn good. Sabatini, not really talked about, but if you watch him fight, Sabatini's pretty good. Nathaniel Wood's good. Yusuf Zalal, underrated, probably, and very good. Kevin Vallejos, oh my goodness, this guy is like the Argentine Topuria. I don't know if he wants that title anymore after what Topuria did at the White House, but yeah, Argentine Topuria. Melky Costa, good. Steve Garcia, good. Aaron Pico. Aaron Pico is on this whole entire list, one of the most skilled. One of the most skilled. If his chin can hold up, oh my goodness. Imagine if he had a chin. Imagine if he had a chin. Crazy. I'm not going to say the most, but one of the most skilled. Top 5 for sure, most skilled fighters here. And 145 outside of it has Vinicius Oliveira, good fighter. It has a up-and-coming contender in Yadir Davaya. What this guy did like a week ago, yeah, dude, Cuban Missile. The guy's literally a Cuban Missile. Sean Woodson, and also one of the biggest prospects right now who, I don't know about y'all, this is one of my favorite fighters to watch already. Tommy McMillan. Wait till this guy gets into the rankings. Overall, this division is stacked. It's so skilled too. And also they're smaller. They're still on the smaller side. They're not even 155. They're close to 125, 135. So the fights are really good as well. But yeah, very, very good division from top to bottom, and with the prospects, the unranked fighters, great fights, amazing. Honestly, these ones are interchangeable. I have welterweight at 2, and spoiler alert, lightweight at 1. It kind of sucks putting welterweight at 2. For pound number 1, potential GOAT Islam Makhachev is the champ, and he just beat Ian Gary. Now, I think there's a lot of recency bias because I felt like the welterweight division didn't have the best night yesterday. And honestly, that fight was very odd. There was a lot of skill on display, but honestly not as much as I thought it was going to be between these two fighters. It was very sometimes and then not. I thought Ian Gary was going to show more variation and show more skill on the feet, but it just really wasn't. And then Makhachev showed he was able to take him down, but Ian Gary's skill was showing through takedown defense and then getting back to the feet, but he just couldn't break the lock and get back to striking. Very odd fight. I think Ian Gary fought better and looked better, but Makhachev won on MMA scoring. But that being said, let's just get back into it. Makhachev's the champ, pound for pound number 1, potential GOAT, potential Mount Rushmore of UFC. Ian Gary, like I said, in my opinion, still skill for skill, one of the best in the UFC. Carlos Prates, everybody loves Carlos Prates. He's one of the most fun fighters to watch. My boy, my GOAT, all of our future triple champs, Michael Morales. JDM. Sean Brady. Sean Brady, after he got that win against Joaquin Buckley and dominated, I feel very good. And honestly, I think he's going to beat Bonfim. Bilal and Leon, former champs, now washed, unfortunately. Joaquin Buckley. It's crazy because, at the end of 2024, Joaquin Buckley, as far as the welterweight division, he was, one of the guys that was coming really hard, onto the scene in the welterweight and in the rankings, and he beat Colby, and he was one of the best prospects at welterweight. Now the division in 2025 and 2026 has gotten so damn good. He's one of the worst, but he has a chance to get a rebound win against Mike Malott. Has to work on that grappling, though. Uros Medic, dog. I mean, this guy, it looks super, super good right now and could definitely do something. Yaroslav Amosov, this guy's a fucking dog. This guy's disgusting. And honestly, I want to see this guy get to the top. I want to see this guy have a #1 contender fight. Low key, I wouldn't even be mad. Give him Michael Morales. I would love to see Morales versus Amosov. That's an interesting fight. Sean Strickland says that his grappling is better than Khamzat Chimaev's. We'll have to see. Then you have Kevin Holland and Daniel Rodriguez just hanging out at the bottom there, but still, though. Insane division. These fights are also pretty good when they're athletic, like a lot of these guys are in the top 15. Now, the reason why I put it lower than lightweight is because of what happened yesterday. When looking at who are the fighters outside of 170 and the prospects, I mean, you have Islam Dulatov, who is a good prospect, but we haven't seen him enough. I want to see this guy fight more. Other than that, I'm not too aware of any other like hot prospects right now in the 170 division. And then the other guys that you have outside of the division, outside of the rankings, you have Joel Alvarez, who had a terrible game plan against a Muay Thai fighter, didn't even shoot a takedown once, and didn't even change up his strategy, just stood in kicking range of a Muay Thai fighter. Miktabek Oralbai, he got ninja choked, which was crazy. Lost it at the very end. Didn't have like the best fight, but was definitely going to win the fight. And then you have guys like Neil Magny, who's a gatekeeper, and Jeff Neal, who's no longer ranked and didn't even fight. He pulled out. So outside of this top 15, it's like, it's not the best. It's not bad by any means, but it's just not the best. And it kind of took a hit a little bit as far as who's someone that can get into the rankings. Now, obviously, #1, lightweight. The 155-pound division. I feel like lightweight is front and center like all the time throughout the history of the UFC. I feel like lightweight has just always been like that division. It's not really a division that anyone from welterweight up ever wants to go down to. And honestly, featherweights are the only one that can go to lightweight. But it's just something about it. It just has aura. It just has presence always. When you look at who is in the rankings, you have Justin Gaethje, who they call him the highlight. He was always one of the most beloved fighters and still is just one of the fan favorites. So violent. Ilia Topuria, who even though he just got beat bad by Gaethje, skill-wise in this whole division, everyone I name it skillfully is insane. But Ilia truly does have everything in the sport. The striking, even though it was not good against Gaethje, the wrestling and the jiu-jitsu and everything. One of the most skilled in the UFC for sure. Arman Sarukian, underrated, another one of my boys, another one of my guys, and a guy that I've been a fan of way before all of the social media stuff. I was a fan of this guy and fighting hard on Instagram and TikTok, telling all these Charles Oliveira fans their boy's losing. That's exactly what happened. Honestly, insane fighter. On the feet, he's very underrated, and we all know about the wrestling. New Bronx, Charles Oliveira. What more do I even have to say? Underrated as far as how entertaining he makes these fights. Outside of that fucking Max Holloway fight, though. My God. But I kind of like this new version of Charles where he's going wrestling heavy. I really do like it. Didn't really work against Ilia. He tried it, didn't really work, and got caught. But Charles Oliveira, most finishes in UFC history. This division has a lot of legends. A lot of legends in the sport. Justin Gaethje. You really could kind of throw Ilia in there if you really wanted to. Charles is a legend, has the most finishes in UFC history. That then brings us to #4 rank, Max Holloway. Absolute legend. One of the biggest fan favorites and one of the best in the UFC. Paddy Pimblett, one of the biggest fan favorites in the UFC. I used to be the biggest hater. I think I already said this. Used to be the biggest hater of this guy, but after what he did against BSD, kind of became a fan. I rated him. You know, he finally got a win that I respected. I respect the win. Quillen Sawkill. This guy's the real deal, a real deal contender after what he did to Gamrot. I made a whole video about that the other day. Skill for skill, insane. Renato Moicano, underrated. And in my genuine opinion, underrated. His striking is very solid. It's not the best. It's not going to jump out, but it's very textbook and very, very solid. A very good weapon. Wrestling, underrated. And very good submissions as well. BSD. Don't really know what I can say about this guy, but, you know, it's kind of crazy that he's just there. But I low-key rock with BSD. He's a marauder, and I mean that in, like, the funny way. Like, he just walks forward, and he just tries to make it crazy. You know, listen, Paddy Pimblett had that crazy finish at International Fight Week, but that finish couldn't happen if BSD doesn't shoot that takedown. Also, he has that head kick, and then he submitted Mauricio Rufy. The guy just does a lot. He brings a lot of moments, which I really appreciate. Scamrot, got his chain snatched. Mauricio Rufy, the Connor regen, who, you know, not talked about enough how much of a regen this guy kind of is a Connor. But he's fighting Arman. And like I said, if Mauricio Rufy beats Arman, he should absolutely get the next title shot. And there's Dan Hooker, Fiziev, and yeah, other guys are very good too. But one of the main reasons why I put this at number 1 is obviously the fights are pretty good. The fights are really good. They're still small enough and athletic enough to put on great fights, but the amount of talent outside of the top 15 through prospects and, you know, just vets is crazy. And I'm probably missing a lot. That's how good it is, right? Jalen Turner. Look what Jalen Turner just did last night. I mean, he looks sharp. He looks dangerous again. It's great to see, and he's outside of the top 15. Get him back in there. Esteban Ribovics, again, look what he did to, I will say, a withered Edson Barboza. But he's been doing this for a while. It's not just Barboza where I'm saying, like, oh, he's so good. Like, no, he's been doing this forever. He just got a bad matchup with Gamrot. Now he knows he has to work on that wrestling. King Green, dog, you know, was top 15 for a while. Terrence McKinney, dog. But, you know, those two just fought. But those are good fighters. Chonko or John Pork, depending how you want to call him, is in the UFC, and he looked damn good in his debut. That guy could be top 15. He could be top 15. And yeah, that's a prospect. That's an insane prospect. Chonko is literally just in the woods right now, just waiting for more fights and more opportunity to go up into the top 15. Parnasse. I don't really know how to pronounce his name. Parnasse is fighting Dan Hooker. This is a champ from another organization, a dominant champ. This is interesting. Now, I don't really trust other champs from other organizations. I just don't trust them. I really don't. There's only one that I'm going to trust, and I'll mention it in a second. You know, there's just too much PTSD with, like, Patchy Mix and, like, Aaron Pico, where it's like, oh, they're coming over, then they just get slimed bad, especially Patchy Mix. Fares Ziam, who he just lost, but, like, again, very, very good fighter. Now, this division could get even more stacked if Usman Nurmagomedov comes. That's who I was just talking about, or referring to. If Usman Nurmagomedov comes into it, this division even just got crazier. Just got even more skillful. So overall, very, very, very good fights. May not be the best fights, but very good fights. Top 15, unreal, skillful. Everyone outside the top 15 is pretty damn good as well. Potentially Usman Nurmagomedov coming in as well. One of my favorites. So, in conclusion, I know it's very small. Heavyweight last, light heavyweight 7th, middleweight at 6th, flyweight at 5th, bantamweight at 4, feather at 3, welterweight at 2, lightweight at 1. And like I said, the top 6 you can put in any order you want. Honestly, these divisions are that good and that entertaining. And in my opinion, just looking at my list, these 4 you can kind of put in any order. You can kind of switch around 3, 4, and 5, and you can even switch around 1 through 3, and you can switch around 1 through 2. You can take it part by part. But let me know how I did. I'm sure it's not going to be well received because nothing really is, but I think I'm right. I really do. But this is just my opinion as well. So thank you guys for watching. Really appreciate it. If you like the video, subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video.